Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Eurovision podcast. It is just after semi-final one. We have just seen the show. We know the 10 qualifiers. And Jesus, my God, what a show, Lou. What a show. Lads.
I am shooketh. Hi, everyone. How are you guys all feeling? Hello to everyone in the YouTube chat, the Instagram chat, Twitter, wherever you are. First thing I see is Fackington saying, I'm in shock, poor Belgium. Say it louder. Not us on yesterday's episode being like, Belgium's our top 3.
No bother at all. Yeah, like lads. Wow, what?
Iceland are in. The boys did it.
3 of the bookies' predictions to not qualify qualified. Like, what just happened, lads? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We can see so many of you going mad.
The
in
San
the comments.
Remo theme tune is in the Eurovision final.
God, big hello to David Benjamin. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Carl. Hello, tribute of District. Hey, Carl. Belgium and Cyprus. What happened? I know. Katrina is saying hi. Aoife, wow. Owen said hey. Absolutely gobsmacked. Said tribute of District. Portugal got me shook. I know I said last night I'd give up Eurovision that they qualified, and look what happened.
Awkward. Bye-bye.
Smudge 567 delighted for Iceland. San Marino question mark by Owen. Vibe. Rachel said I need a debrief Belgium. I was so sad for them. I loved it. Aoife can't believe Belgium was 5th overall in the odds and didn't qualify. What happened, lads? What happened?
What the hell just happened?
B summed it up, y'all. Holy Jesus.
True.
Really, really, what a shocker.
Our Instagram chat is popping off as well. Luke saying justice for Belgium. Guys, San Marino, Iceland and Portugal all qualifying together. Cyprus is out. What are Alex and I going to do on Saturday?
Thank God.
Hush. That's still going to be one of my most streamed songs this year. I love it so much. Oh my gosh.
What a crazy last few minutes. It's mad. Myself and Lou were just saying before we came on air that you kind of go into Eurovision week thinking you know everything and everything is, solid. This is going to happen. And then semi-final 1 starts and then you get the results and everything is thrown up in the air and anything can happen. It's mental.
I was saying this earlier, like almost every year there's like some kind of shock in semi-final 1. I don't know if you guys find this as well. And then you look at your semi-2 predictions and you're like, well, I know nothing, so I'm going to start changing my predictions, or I'm going to start making really weird takes that just won't happen in semi-2 because we don't know everything. As much as we try to guess and analyze, some years we do it better than others. And there was definitely a couple of surprises, leaving Ukraine until the end.
I really thought we were about to see the first ever NQ for Ukraine. It was very, very close.
Do you think the producers knew that people would be querying Ukraine qualifying?
Probably.
So it made good telly to lead them till the end.
Yeah, I say so. I wouldn't have been surprised at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
And B makes a good point, and I know we kind of said it at the end of the show. At this point, Ireland is through with flying feckin' colours, and it does give you a lot of hope for Thursday, but we'll deal with that on Thursday. Let us know your thoughts on tonight's show. That is most important. Owen says, I wish Ukraine didn't qualify. Smudge says, I think we are a cert to qualify now because Iceland got in. Ray said, I enjoy a Sony song, but now with Connor on the A Better Song Lost Out train. Yeah, very true tonight. Bonsai devastated over Belgium and Cyprus. KC Cub, I'm shook. Kieran said, Loki hated this new semi-final announcement style. Let us know your thoughts on that. We kind of enjoyed it, actually. We thought it was a bit of
it worked for this one anyway,
moment. Leonie said, absolutely buzzing for Iceland, but what a crazy result overall. And James O'Connor said, Eurovision about to collapse over semi that Ireland aren't even in.
That's Eurovision, baby.
That's it. And Ray said, Ukraine NQ would have been valid this year. That staging was a migraine. Interesting take there.
Should we chat through the non-qualifiers first? And I'll call out the non-qualifiers. So we had 15 songs in semi-final 1. 10 have progressed to the grand final on Saturday night. And 5 have not and have stayed left behind in the semi, somewhere between 11th to 15th position. We won't know for sure in which position they finished until late Saturday night, really early Sunday morning is when we usually find out. So Those 5 that didn't make it are Azerbaijan, Run With You, Mama Ghana, Belgium, Strobe Lights, Red Sebastian, Croatia, Poison Cake, Marco Bosniak, Cyprus with Shh, Theo Evan, and Slovenia. How much time do we have left? Clement. Like, not all of them were clear cut NQs for me anyway. I don't know what you guys all think in the chat. We'll start maybe quickly just on Azerbaijan. That for me wasn't a shock. I don't think for you either, Connor.
No, I do like the song as a studio version, but just overall the performance, the staging was a bit of a mess. I don't understand the dancers that they had. The vocal ultimately was just a big issue for me. It was nearly as if he was taking the piss on stage. I know I said that last night. I just felt it was that X Factor kind of funny audition moment of the high pitch. I know Marty Whelan on Irish commentary said that they were on helium, and that's, I guess, the kind of vibe that people must have got. Not a surprise it this didn't get through, and I definitely think it is in contention for a last place or 14th place overall in the semi-final. I don't think it was in a fighting chance whatsoever. What about yourself, Lee?
No, it wasn't doing it for me. The staging was very fine. That's such a problem, you know. You can't make people feel indifferently at the Eurovision Song Contest. You know, Tommy Cash has so many haters, but does obviously have enough supporters to get him through the semi. And then unfortunately Azerbaijan just fell victim to nobody hated them, but did enough people love them? Unfortunately not in this scenario. Guys, we do have to talk about it, and it's his birthday today. Red Sebastian, Belgium, one of the huge favourites from early on in the season. Belgium is out, and we're like boo the fools, because the two of us and Alex all last night were like, yeah, Belgium's in our top 3 of the semi. It's so slick. I stand by it. I think that staging is class. I don't know what else Belgium could have done with that package, honestly. It seemed like it popped off in the arena. Can we attribute enough of it to the running order? I don't know. Like, it's only a 15-song semi-final. I think running order matters a little bit more in the final, to be honest. Belgium is out, non-qualifier. What do you make of it, Connor?
I'm honestly shocked. I'm really, really shocked. I'm looking at it now, and you can see last year with Musty, you can understand, you know, the vocal was just not there and the staging was a bit off. But Red Sebastian, I'm actually just curious, what else could they have done? I don't know what else. I thought the staging was on point. We see Clemovision has just joined on our Instagram. We are so sorry.
Clementine,
we are so sorry. Like, I think this is just the biggest shock of the night, and I think a lot of people are echoing this in the comments. It's just, I just don't know what else Belgium has to do to qualify now. If this did not qualify, and I just honestly don't think this was even close. I think Slovenia could have been the 11th spot, and we'll get onto that, and Belgium could be 12th. For some reason, it just did not connect with the voters in Europe and the rest of the world, which is bemusing to me. I have no idea why. I'm trying to pinpoint some point, but I just don't know why. It's probably just one of those songs that we just will never know why
people felt stronger about other songs. Maybe it's that there was nothing wrong with Belgium. People just didn't get the urge to vote for it. Or it could be that classic case of people kind of thinking it's safe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Someone saying on our YouTube chat that maybe it was too static. I mean, I'm glad it wasn't too crazy with movement personally, but could be. It could be. Croatia. Now, Connor, I know you love the song and I don't like the song, but equally I don't take joy in it not qualifying, you know, like Marco's such a lovely guy, and I really like what he was trying to do. And of course, Ben Pine, Irish songwriter, to have to shout him out, doing such a great job on the song. So it's a disappointment for Croatia, non-qualifying after being the runners up last year. Unfortunately, just didn't hit the mark on this one. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I thought it was always going to be an uphill battle. I know in our predictions that I put it through, but I just put it through for the crack, to be honest, just to see if it could get through. I think they did the best they could with the song, with the staging, but ultimately the song is just not strong enough, and it's probably just too much of a Marmite song. You either love it or hate it, but not in the good way, and probably too many people hated it ultimately. So I think, you know, they did everything they could. They tried the best. They elevated the staging so much. So I got to give them props. From the national final to Eurovision, it looked amazing on stage, but just wasn't strong enough of a song to get through. Marco's vocals I thought were good tonight as well. So they did all they could, but I can see why it didn't go through. I'm not surprised. Ultimately.
Yeah, it was definitely an uphill battle for Croatia. Carl says, seeing Croatia live, I actually enjoyed it. Never have streamed it really though. Evamski says Croatia was so high production and well performed, but the song was a bit weird and I kind of wanted it to end. So yeah, Croatia also out. Cyprus, Theo Evan fan club in mourning. I'm sure Alex will still go out to Euroclub tonight. Yeah, me and Alex. Me and Alex. I'm sure she'll still head out tonight and she'll bop away to it in his honor. It's going to be one of my most streamed songs this year. Like, I was willing this to be better. I think the main downfall for this, like, as vocals aside, because the vocals were not perfect, obviously, it was lacking a bit of a moment. And for being the closer of the night, I don't know if that performance grabbed people. I'm disappointed for Sergio. He did a great job with what was there. I loved the opening shot. I think the scaffolding was a cool idea, quite different to what we've seen before in Eurovision. Cyprus are a competitive country, so they're going to come back hungry, I imagine, after this. Connor, you always have had a query over the vocals since we heard it live, right?
Yeah, I thought the vocals were a big issue tonight. I thought he sounded better last night in the jury dress rehearsal that we saw as press accredited, as accredited press got to see. So I thought vocally it was better last night. Tonight, I just think the last high note was just very off. You can tell he was stretching to try hit it. The staging as well. As much as I love Sergio, I just didn't get the relation to the song. It was just a bit weird. I think the opening moments were amazing, and then it just kind of lost me throughout. Myself, we were watching with friends, and Shane, big shout out to him. The minute he did that kind of look in the camera, and he usually winks. Now tonight he didn't wink, but he kind of did a quiver of the lip.
Smolder.
Yeah. Oh Jesus, we cringed our lives away. It was so mortifying. So I think just overall it was a bit off-putting maybe for viewers. Similar enough, like I said last night, to maybe Ollie Alexander in different ways.
Yeah,
potentially. So yeah, not for me. I was never a fan of this ultimately, but yeah, not overly surprised that it didn't qualify this evening.
That's fair. I see a lot of comments in both the YouTube and the Instagram chat asking about juries. Like, how different do you think the result will be? Should juries come back? I will always maintain that I'm a Eurovision 2008 fangirl. I love noisy, camp, upbeat songs. I love all of that. I love that we have a world where San Marino and Iceland made it into the final. I don't think both of them would have made it if there had been a jury in this semi-final. So personally, televote only semis and then 50-50 is absolutely perfect for me in the final. But I think that's a very personal thing for every fan. Let us know in the chat what you guys think. What would you like juries to come back or not? And while they're doing that, Connor, you can tell us your thoughts.
On which? Juries?
Juries.
I think ultimately juries should come back, even though as happy as I am with tonight's result, I think ultimately if you're going to have juries in the final, you're going to have juries in the semi-finals. But I think just expanding the juries, from what is it currently? 5 people, is it?
Yeah.
Expand that out. You need more of a bigger sample size from 5. Maybe give 20 people of all different ages and all different genders. A say if that's going to be the way you're going to do it in the final, with the jury. But tonight I'm happy with the televote only result. Come back to me maybe on Thursday and I'm losing some favourites and I'm like, oh, okay, bring back the juries. But if they're not crooked and they're not up to devilment, I like to have juries back. But tonight I'm happy because the result, you know what I mean? I'm happy with the result tonight. When I'm unhappy, I'll be saying bring them back. But
I know.
It's a hard one to know. It's a hard one to know. Because I don't want a 2022 final. That final was atrocious. We went to it and it was it had about 5 songs all in the first half that were so good and uplifting. And then everything else was like a ballad. And it was just like, oh, come on now, lads.
I can see it's a very mixed bag in the chat. James suggests maybe we could do a jury wild card. I remember that being a thing actually in 2008. And lads, I'm sure a lot of you know this. You wouldn't believe who got through in 2008 on the jury wildcard. She would have non-qualified for Sweden. Charlotte Pirelli with Hero. Can you imagine a world where that iconic song and outfit and performer didn't make it to 2008 final? It would have been another non-qualification along with poor old Anna Bergendahl. But no, the jury saved Sweden in 2008. So that's quite an interesting thought. Would you be would you propose that? A jury wildcard, 9
No.
televote,
No.
1 jury?
If you have a jury wildcard, you should have a televote wildcard, personally. I think so. Are you saying, sorry, just one jury wildcard?
So wildcard is like that, it's the one, so like it would be 9 go through by the televote, and then
the last one,
the favourite of the remaining by the jury would go through.
No, too complicated.
Okay.
Too complicated. Keep it simple. Simplify this. It's like tonight with the process. It's like those 3-way split. It's like it's an easier way of doing than the camera angles from 2023. Just you need to keep it simple for the person who's only tuning in for the first time. When you're talking about juries and their favorite versus televote favorite, people just go, "What is going on?" So yeah, no, keep it basic and simple for the general audience.
Yeah.
And myself.
Yeah, that's fair. So if you're just joining, hello, by the way, Connor and New here from the Eurovision podcast. We've been discussing the non-qualifiers. We've briefly chatted about Azerbaijan, Belgium, Croatia and Cyprus. We haven't chatted about Slovenia properly yet. Clement, how much time do we have left? I was kind of in a world the last day or two where I was like, yeah, I think this could go through. But no, Europe was not in the mood. We love talking about the mood of Europe. People weren't in the mood. Was it the running order? Was it being sandwiched between Poland and Estonia? Did people go, oh, that's nice, but just not pick up the phone?
It probably went back to what I thought last night. Ultimately, I think Poland is ultimately, you have 2 big openers between Iceland and Poland. And then you get kind of a whiplash moment of going very down and slow with Clement. And by the time it gets to that beautiful moment in the last 30 to 40 seconds of the song with his wife coming out and the beam of golden lights coming out, you're probably turned off and falling asleep. So maybe it just ultimately, the rehearsal clip we saw, we kind of got a bit of hope. But ultimately, the majority of the song, it just takes too long to get to that moment. And people are probably falling asleep after being woken up by Iceland and Poland. I think that's probably what happened.
Yeah. Stole the show a little bit, I suppose. And there's a lot of people asking in general, now that we've spoken about the non-qualifiers, how we feel about that 3-way split. And again, guys, let us know in the chat what you guys think of that. 3 countries on the screen, one of them getting through. My first takeaway is, in general in the show, Tommy Cash is like the TV darling. Like, they keep panning. Every year there's kind of someone, it's usually one of the more, kitschy, jokey entries. And it's Tommy Cash is clearly the cameraman's darling because they keep going back to him. Even rolling in the credits, he was the only contestant they randomly just showed him kind of laughing or cheering or whatever. So yeah, he was up 3 times. And then we knew, I think Sam was saying, I didn't realize that they could only be shown 3 times. And it was kind of obvious that he was going through. But in general, in terms of that reveal, I think the suspense was pretty good. We had one thing that really entertained us, was it Portugal, San Marino and Iceland were all up together. 3 countries like that, maybe?
It was Slovenia.
Was it Slovenia? Yeah. And we were kind of like, oh, who's this going to be? Yeah. That was quite fun.
Mm-hmm. I think when you have those moments, it's really, really good and exciting. But I did like the 3-way split. I think it was interesting. Changed it up a bit.
It's better than that like weird X Factor idea they had of having them all on the stage. The main thing is they need to be with their delegation in a vulnerable moment.
Especially with the minute you find out you qualify or not qualify, the cameras are off you and you have that moment with your delegation, you said, just to kind of take it in. Whereas if you have to kind of like walk off stage while everyone else around you is either celebrating or, also upset and disappointed about it, I think it's an awful thing. We talk so much about safeguarding artists and, that just was doing the complete opposite ultimately, so, yeah.
Angus said it there at the top. Was it when they flashed up Slovenia, Portugal and Azerbaijan, and I knew we were in for a shock. Yeah, that was the one we were all like, oh, who is this going to be? The jury, well, the Eurovision watchers jury is out. There's a mix, would you say, there in that chat of what people thought, but overall people seem fine.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah. B said it was designed to be random, but to accommodate. Paul Cullen said 8 non-exclusively English qualifiers is pretty amazing. My Instagram said I liked the new putting announcement. Let's see.
Yes, actually, the 5 non-qualifiers were all non-native English-speaking countries, with English language songs.
Wow.
And the only country that qualified with the song fully in the English language was Norway, and then Netherlands partially. The rest of them were all native languages. That just shows you the televote doesn't care if the song is in English and the majority can understand it.
Interesting. Sam makes a great point. I think the three-way panel only works well for fans. Like, it's exciting when you know people shouldn't be going through, but only fans know that. A regular viewer must look with confusion. So it would be interesting to hear what the general audience who are tuning in just for the one night think of it as well. But I think for they often talk about semi-finals are very much for the fans and the dedicated fans who are tuning in. So maybe it is, a good thing that. My sister says, sorry, can we mention Petra and her appearance? She is an icon. I was shook at that.
Was gagged.
Did not expect that. And I think we'll touch on maybe later the show overall, about the interval acts and stuff like that, because we certainly were enjoying them this evening.
Did Ukraine get booed? I didn't hear booing personally. We were too busy reacting.
We were screaming. We were screaming. We were up on our feet for a few of the qualifiers tonight.
Connor did a spin when Poland qualified.
Of course, had to. It was only natural. Any other good comments that we shall read out? Let us know your thoughts, guys, tonight.
Petra's perfection.
Petra's perfection. Yes, ESC 101 podcast.
My boyfriend watched with me, and he isn't a dedicated fan. And he seemed to enjoy it. It made it a bit more engaging. Fair enough. Bruno says, Poland and Norway slay the house down boots. So true. Kieran on Instagram, what was up with the brutal camera shaking and superimposed snakes for the TV audience? Not a fan. I wanted to see that's disappeared now. The end of that.
Oh, sorry. If I scroll up, it will stop rolling. Yeah. Sorry.
I didn't...
The snake was during Croatia's performance, and I think the shaky cameras, they might have been talking about Switzerland. Now, Switzerland is meant to shake, but Sam, again, made a great point. They're using a special camera, and maybe because it's a wired camera, the footage is too sensitive. So when they shake the camera isn't processing it quick enough. So that's why we got that freeze, and then the cut to the audience of, please turn on your camera lights on your phone. So that might explain that. So they might have to rethink that enough. Tonight. Shaky cameras was Croatia too. I think that was on purpose though.
That was definitely an effect,
the effect of the song, just to maybe distract you from what was going on overall, potentially.
At least in Switzerland's case, like it was just a semi-final showcase, and they can hopefully sort it out for Saturday.
Mackin247 said, low-key, have FOMO not being in Basil, might need to last minute book Friday to Sunday.
Book it and book it.
You're doing me. Bonsai 62. Switzerland was the best act of the night for me. So yes, true. Lads. Let us know your thoughts on Switzerland. We were talking it up a lot last night. Let us know your thoughts on it. And of course, the whole show overall too, lads.
Yeah.
Natalia said, glad to hear Poland did so good. Yes, she's in the final. Ella says, I think one reason Belgium didn't qualify might be because it felt a little repetitive and kind of boring. There wasn't really any variation in the song nor staging. It felt a little try hard to me, not gonna lie. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Mike's to Graham. I enjoyed Croatia a lot more than I expected, actually. That was good to hear. Ray, a bit of comments on Sweden now. I feel like Sweden have shown another country how to do a successful Eurovision. A lot of the same comedy and DNA in tonight's show.
There was people asking online, was Edward Afsilin involved in the script of that interval, which it does smell like him. So I imagine we will find out, especially if Petra's involved. He's very close with Petra. So I wouldn't be surprised if there were many Swedes involved. I am so happy to see, like, from the intervals and all that. Took a little while to get going, but Switzerland bringing a bit of personality. I thought, just being that neutral kind of Central European country, I wasn't sure how much personality we get. And people were pointing out in the chat that times it was cringe, and I do get that. But it is Eurovision. We have to embrace a little bit of that. I love the running gag as a big tennis fan of Roger Federer. Like, he is clearly just going to turn up at some point because they're like, oh, Roger Federer. And I wonder, will they continue it into semi 2? And will he either appear there or will he appear maybe in the final? We'll have to see.
Okay, and we talk about showing up because we had a very special video message from Celine Dion, of course, the previous Swiss winner before Nemo with Napati Pasamwa. And
she won in Dublin in 1988.
She won in Dublin, yeah. So she obviously sent a video message. Lads, I think she's going to appear on Saturday. I think they're teasing us. I think they're thinking, oh, she's not going to come. She's not going to come. She can't be with us at Basil. I reckon we're going to get a surprise appearance on Saturday.
And maybe a surprise appearance in your house, apparently, if Georgia qualifies tomorrow.
Shout out to Sam. Aaron said there was some tone-deaf jokes. Luke said Hazel, the host, was so mean. I love her. Yeah, that's what I was talking about last night. She was very aggressive last night. She was much better tonight. I preferred the host this evening. They brought their own uniqueness in a way. It probably took them a while to warm up. So
she was kind of the I'm so quirky one, and the brunette was like the solid, keeping the show going sort of thing. They worked well, I think.
Bruno B said San Marino's first time in final since Flo Rida.
I think if another Eurovision movie is made for Netflix, I really appreciated them basing it on Iceland, but the next one would have to be on San Marino, because San Marino, I think you have to make an argument for them being probably the best Eurovision country, just because of how random and out there they are. Not only is their entry the San Remo theme tune of this year, but the DJ behind it is also the guy behind Blue Dabba Dee. Yeah. It's just so iconic. Setting it, bringing Flo Rida those years ago. Serhat from Turkey, the dentist. I just love that country, man. I need to go to San Marino just to be there. It's a real Euro fan rite of passage. Guys, Eurovision party bus to San Marino. What do we think? A pilgrimage?
Jesus. That means we have to go through Italy again, though.
Oh, happy days.
Really?
Happy days. I love Italian food. I love Italian people.
Oh, Jesus. I don't know. Let's process that over the summer and come back to that. So just to recap, if anyone is joining us and probably don't know what Eurovision is or what happened tonight, we have 10 qualifiers.
Where have you been?
They were Iceland, Poland, Estonia, Ukraine, Sweden, Portugal, Norway, San Marino, Albania, and the Netherlands, meaning we are leaving in the semi-final Slovenia, Belgium, Azerbaijan, Croatia, and Cyprus. Lou, any country that was a big surprise for you out of the 10 that we saw go through?
Out of the 10 qualifiers?
Yeah.
Well, San Marino, I think, first off, because, country that struggles historically with televote, and people in the Eurovision bubble definitely were enjoying San Marino, and then it was hard to know, would that story translate of where the song came from, coming from Italy originally, and so on. Didn't think the staging was A1, to be honest. I think they could have really gone gung-ho with the Italian theme, but fair dues. They did it. I'm sure they must have gotten good points off Italy as well, which hopefully bumped them up the scoreboard a bit too. We have to chat about Portugal, guys, and I know there's someone in the YouTube chat who's absolutely dying for us to talk about Portugal. So wherever you are, we are going to shout out Portugal now. Connor did announce yesterday on the podcast that if Portugal qualified, he'd be leaving Eurovision. So when's the resignation letter coming?
Sorry, lads. Yeah, what a shock. I think it's a shock generally, to be honest, because we saw in the odds tonight that Portugal were actually dropping down. Croatia overtook them at one point. So they were last in the odds to qualify with the bookies, and similar enough to Latvia last year. Just really shows you that you can't trust anything. Anything can happen. And I really thought this was dead coming after, what was it, Sweden? Just the staging as well was so poor, I thought. It just didn't really tell a story.
Portugal have a way of making it in. They have an audience.
I don't know why. And obviously they had Spain voting as well, so it might have helped them in that.
Rest of the world
too. So maybe they might have squeaked in. But Jesus, it's that's a big shock for me. Big shock for me.
Dan in YouTube says, where's it gone? Euro fans typically misunderstand Portugal, Spain, Italy, and San Marino voting. Yeah, it's just a more understated package, I suppose. And for those of us who like the fireworks and the noise, it's a different palette, I guess. Katrina says, so happy for Portugal. The song is so beautiful. James saying, I think people really underestimate the power Portugal have in standing out. I'd had that thought on and off. Like, we were all so confident, like, Portugal's out. And then there was just a niggly thing. Sometimes I think, but Portugal have a weird way of getting in.
And particularly as well, I was speaking to my Portuguese friend and he was saying that older audiences aren't a big fan of this song, but the younger population in Portugal absolutely love the band and love the song. So, we know that Eurovision skews very young demographically in the semi-final. So maybe it just resonated on a broader scale outside of Portugal too.
Yeah, that story of coming home and all of that kind of thing. Connor, we have to chat about Iceland.
Delighted.
The lads.
Absolutely deserved. So deserved. I know we were talking last night that we didn't think it was enough to get through, but I thought personally it was the best vocal performance that I've seen from the lads throughout the whole season, to be honest. I thought they were vocally on point. The staging was great. The atmosphere in the arena was a perfect opener, and they deserve it. They just deserve it. I don't think it's going to do well in the final now. I think it will kind of get lost, but I think ultimately they're just probably happy to get Iceland back into the final for the first time since 2022.
Did you see their whole campaign to get themselves up the odds? And
yeah,
they were going around, and now we are 34th, and now we are 33rd. Well, look, they're now in the top 26. They're in the final.
Big
so
movement.
Good for them. And I agree with Jack on the YouTube chat saying the Minecraft staging was gas. I'm sure every 8-year-old was vibing. Honestly, they have that young person kids vote locked in with that Minecraft aesthetic. They all be going mad for the Minecraft and the Roblox and all the bits and the bobs. And yeah, they tidied up the bit of crack they had in Song of Kepnin and just made something really fun. They were a perfect opener as well. And, I think kind of the goal for them was probably always to make the final.
Mm-hmm.
And they've done it now. And they in particular are an act from this year I already know I'd love to see coming back to Eurovision in the future. With something different. John in the chat saying, the lads! That's what we're calling them, the lads.
The lads.
Sam saying, I hope the lads party hard tonight. I'm sure they will. I bet you they'll be popping up with Gabe somewhere. They're good pals,
it'll be on the
they?
TikTok as well.
They'll be live streaming Roblox then tomorrow or something.
Adam G said, I wasn't sure if Iceland was going to make it, but I'm so thrilled they made it. Jack Murnag said, I predicted 9 out of 10. Nice. Thought Croatia might just edge out Ukraine, but I should have realized that Ukraine just oh my god, I can never pronounce this word. Diaspora vote would pull it through. Do you want to talk about Ukraine, because they were left last to be announced, and personally I thought we were about to see the first NQ of Ukraine in Eurovision.
It was possible, honestly, in that moment. Like, I wouldn't have ruled it out. Again, just historically, anecdotally, Ukraine are such a powerhouse diaspora vote, as has been mentioned. Also, just general public support. Like, we can't deny that people are more endeared towards supporting Ukraine in any way that they can. The staging was, in my personal opinion, way better in their national selection back a couple of months ago. I know we had a viewer last night kind of rightfully pointing out that like their budget wasn't stretching to bring in the grass and all that kind of thing, and obviously Ukraine have bigger fish to fry at the moment. We all know that. So it's just great for them to be on this world stage. But yeah, a weaker package overall when we're looking at it in the context of a competition ultimately. That's the way we have to view it. We have to chat about it, and Ukraine have sent far better. And like, if it were the Eurovision Song Contest, I would have put Belgium and Cyprus in ahead of this personally. But look, there's still love out there for Ukrainian music and what they produce, and fair play to them for making it in. But Connor, I agree, like it was touch and go there. And then when they came up in the three, I thought it'd be really cruel now to have Ukraine up, like potentially breaking their qualification record and everything.
Yeah.
And then for them to not make it. So
yeah. I thought we were about to lose Ukraine there, and I thought wow, Europe really just did not like the song, but ultimately it's gotten through. So yeah, it would have been a big shock to see that happening, but they got through. They got through.
Just to take a little breather, we had one or two random questions, and they've kind of gone up. I saw them in both of the chats again.
Mm.
Some people asking, because we are Eurovision, what is our perspective about Ireland? Like, how do we feel our chances are now that we've watched those qualifiers from semi-final one?
I feel more positive about us, to be honest. I think a lot of the fun songs got through this evening, which maybe shows that Europe are in a party mood. A lot more of the big hitters are coming on Thursday. We have
Mm.
Malta, we have Finland. Anyone else that are big hitters? Can't think of them right now, but I feel like a lot of the party anthems
Austria.
are Austria as well. So a lot of the big hitters are coming on Thursday, but I think there's hope for us. I think
Mm.
there's hope for us. Maybe Europe is paying a bit more attention to the vocal this year. Cyprus had amazing staging, but the vocal just wasn't there. Belgium, some people in the comments were saying that the vocal couldn't be heard or wasn't on point for them. So yeah, I feel more positive. I think we'll learn a lot more tomorrow night because we'll be seeing it for the first time ourselves as press. So we'll report back then. But at the moment,
You'll have
based
to
on
join us for
tonight,
that.
yeah, based on tonight, I'm feeling more positive for Ireland's perspectives. What about yourself?
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think Fionn makes a very good point in our Instagram chat. Iceland qualifying gives me hope for Emmy on Thursday. So endearing, fun, and can appeal to a wide audience. It does feel overall from these qualifiers that Europe is searching for a party this year.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been wondering for a couple of years when that would fully be the mood, you know? And even looking at the qualifiers in semi one, they didn't want the kind of downbeat moodiness of Slovenia, and the slower song that they went for the viewers was the just kind of chilled out Portugal. So yeah, maybe it's going to bode well for us that the more party boppy songs have gotten through. Ray on YouTube saying, I feel if we qualify for the final and draw first half, Emmy will be opening Saturday. Definitely possible.
Yeah, definitely possible.
Possible.
And just to show Jack's comment, because I clicked by mistake, so it's unfair to not answer it. Interesting point. Do you more fun songs qualifying hurt Sweden's chances?
No.
I personally do think it does hurt Sweden's chances, and that's why I'm kind of pipping Switzerland as a potential winner now, because I think we have so many fun songs this year, and I know I spoke about it earlier in the podcast this season that I think, you know, the strongest ballad might come through and take the win because those votes are going to be so split across so many different countries. People aren't sure what way to go, but I do think Sweden is going to get high points across the board. So it's just whether enough a slow song can take take the ultimate title. But I do think more fun songs could hurt Sweden in the long run.
My hot take on that hasn't changed. It's not even hot anymore. It's cold because I made it months ago and I haven't changed my opinion. I think if Sweden can get that top four in both, they're very likely to get first or second overall. I definitely agree. Like, Switzerland is so deserving of a jury win at this point, and it then depends how Switzerland perform in the televote, and I hope they do well in the televote. Like, I'd hate to have great jury points for Switzerland and a low televote, but I don't feel that's going to happen because
No.
even we can see in the fan bubble, we all have really reacted to Switzerland and we have all really loved it. Daniel Baker, good pal of mine, hello, on Instagram, asking, do we think if Spain, Switzerland and Italy were in a situation that they needed to qualify tonight, they would have? So I think Switzerland were like, yeah.
Spain, yeah. Yeah, I think a few of my local friends were texting me saying they were loving Spain just because of the campiness of it all.
I agree,
Italy,
yeah.
Italy, you know my thoughts on Italy ultimately. I think it's quite weak staging wise ultimately though. So I think Italy might have been in trouble. Yeah.
Italy are a weird one, right? Because they have this automatic like platform of votes because they're Italy. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's an automatic, I don't know how many points, 80 points or something silly that they get even if their performance is kind of shite. So I think they would have been the least likely of the three. I'm going to say Spain would have had a better chance over Italy, but I honestly think all three would have probably made it through. Personally, that is a nice question. Thank you. There's a couple of other qualifiers I'll look them up while you get us another question.
Yeah, ESC 101 podcast asks us, question, will San Marino break its record of 19th place? Thoughts?
Is that its record?
That's its record. And
Senate
that's
should have got top 10 for God's sake.
I
no.
don't think so, to be honest. It depends on running order, but I just, my gut instinct doesn't think so. Potentially. I just don't think so. Yeah, no, probably not. Probably not. B said, look, even if we did qualify, I don't care where we place in the final. I just want to see us maintain a qualification streak again and not wait 6 more years to see us in the final. I think that's how a lot of Irish fans are feeling. Just get to the final and then enjoy the party on Saturday night. Smudge567 said, Poland, best performance of the night.
Yeah. I was going to say, let's talk about Poland. Let's do it.
She recovered, lads. My God, the change from last night. First of all, she got rid of that horrible hair look that she had. She had her hair up in like a high ponytail last night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And she had this golden thing in the middle of her forehead as well. Just looked horrendous. She went back to that kind of national final look that we know so well, and it worked so well. She hit all the notes. She hit all the points that she had to hit. The dancers were in the right position. So, A1 from them tonight, and no surprise that they qualified. They were going to qualify either way, but yeah, flawless from her. I'm delighted, as it's my number one this year. Yeah. What do you think of Poland?
For me, and so many of my favorites are in this semi, honestly. But the moment of the semi-final is when she runs at the camera. That makes me want to exercise. I'm like, oh my God, Justine is coming for me. Get out of the way. And the whole going up in the air. And I was saying to the lads, actually, as we were watching it tonight, Poland are feckin' devils for being too extra with their staging. Remember the year of Ochman, and it was a really understated, nice ballad, and they were putting mad graphics on the screen. It was like, what are you doing? Blanca, they were it was so garish and weird. They've hit the nail on the head here perfectly for Gaia. It is very extra, but this song deserved that.
Mm-hmm.
It was giving me kind of Hunger Games energy at different points. I was like, oh, we're in Panem. What's happening? The rings up on. It was that nice mystical feel. Kind of sci-fi fans would have appreciated that, I think. A lot of love for Poland in the chat. We love to see it. John further up asked a really fun question. John Cahill, who do you think was the 10th qualifier tonight? Guys, let us know who you think in the chat. I think San Marino.
I think Portugal. I don't think it was strong enough to be any further up. I think every other country could have deserved probably to go up. I don't think anyone else down. Portugal probably would 10th. Are you saying San Marino?
I think San Marino, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's...
Sorry, but just back on Portugal. Back on Poland. I just see Daniel on Instagram said, I'm low-key shook at the fact that Justina is 52.
And I was speaking to a Polish guy today who actually knows Justina, and he was saying that she's very much I look better now than I did 30 years ago in Eurovision. So she's very much, and it's so
Good
true.
for her.
She looks amazing.
She's the eldest competitor this year.
It's crazy.
Isn't that mental?
Crazy. So crazy.
So young.
ESC 101 podcast. She literally just runs like she's in the Olympics. The belts out the vocal perfection. So true. James O'Connor, the Polish team craves crazy. Justina, let them do it. So true. Brian said Sweden song sounds as dated as any other song in my honest opinion. Very 70s, 80s with a chorus intended to appeal to a different language speakers. Ding a dong, dig a do, dig a lay, etc. But it could win. Interesting take there. Aaron says, I think Ukraine.
As the 10th. Someone says Norway, Ukraine,
Norway,
Portugal.
Either Iceland or Portugal came 10th. Elton John vibes from Italy. Now it's Wacko Jacko, Michael Jackson, lads. Paul Cullen, I think Poland or Norway 10th.
I think Poland's higher than 10th, personally.
Jack K, also Belgium was 11th, maybe Norway was 10th. I think Norway was higher. I think it could have probably got 6s across the board and, came 4th or 5th, in the semi-final. Acapella Z said Cyprus not making it to the final doesn't surprise me. They were the first show. They were the first to show their Sorry, I can't read that. That's so.
They were the first to show their representative and the last to show their music. They didn't go to the pre-parties. People didn't connect to. Shh.
You and Alex certainly connected to it.
We connected. We really did. Yeah, I think it didn't come together. I think Cyprus's biggest mistake is they kind of had a lot of the pieces of the puzzle, but they didn't join it all up. There wasn't enough of a moment. There wasn't enough gusto in the last minute of Cyprus. I do see Alex Basmati in the Instagram chat. Girl, where are you?
I'm gooped. I'm gagged. I'm not well.
She says,
we're
we connected all right. Alex, are you heading off to Euroclub or what are you at?
I saw
moment?
Alex sent us loads of audio messages on WhatsApp. I presume that's for tomorrow's episode. But Alex, let us know because I don't have access to my phone.
If they're playable on the stream, I'll play them now. Just let us know how appropriate
Are they for us or
on a
for
scale
the
of your Theo Evan messages to me to Eurovision listener friendly. How much can I play them? She says yes.
Yes.
Is that yes to Euroclub or yes I can play them? Please confirm. By the way, guys, Germ slayed the house down. My God, Beatrice's voice is sick. And I loved the roar from the audience. Alex says, yeah, play the first one. It's Roy. Roy! Great pal of the pod.
If you connect your Bluetooth to that, Lou, it should play through for the audience.
Alex, why did she privately messaged me, Lou, long story, and then nothing after it. You can't leave me on tenter hooks like that. Okay, sorry.
Teasing us.
So it's the first one. Is it, Alex, just to confirm, is it the 2-minute 52-second one?
Oh, Jesus.
Only the first one. Did anyone else find the stages for Belgium and Cyprus felt a little cold and clinical? Ice and San Marino, Portugal, they're not my favourites, had warmth and good vibes. That's a good point, Fionn. Yeah.
Time to witness Alex Basmati's crash out. Jesus, Alex. I love that.
Yeah. We're in mourning over our Theo. Godra Electronica were phenomenal live. What did you think of Albania?
I thought they were brilliant. I still don't think it's enough to win, but I think it was definitely impressive. The camera cuts, I think, are some of the best at the semi-final, particularly in the kind of build up to the male singer coming in when it's is it the main chorus of the song? But when she's kind of voguing on the walkway, I think it's brilliant. But yeah, I was really impressed. Really happy to see Albania. Great staging. Love it. Really nice. The staging, sorry. Overall, the stage, there was a few bits that kind of went wrong. I don't know if people noticed at home. The LED wall, there was a big strip that kind of broke throughout the show. So there's this kind of like black line in the middle of the LED screen. And then I think it was for Albania. I'm pretty sure it was for Albania. That, you know, the arches that come down from the ceiling, one of them broke or went AWOL. So they were all facing, let's say they were facing down like that. One of them was like facing up, which kind of looked really awkward. If you watch back, you'll see it. But yeah.
Connor and Sam are like the tech experts around the place. And like, it was just bothering the two of them so much. I was like, I didn't even see
We
it.
were talking about fonts. We were talking about graphics.
They started talking about fonts at one point and Shane turned to me and I was like, this is what it's like all the time when I'm with them.
Joey on Instagram said, Gaia. So true.
Alex has confirmed I can play the first one.
Okay.
He said second one is cuts in it, 3 and 4 are good to play. Okay. Oh, what a gal. Okay.
Amazing.
We can play them now or shortly, whatever.
Yeah, whenever.
Sam says we're little nerds. Well, we finished. I don't think we only have 3 qualifiers left to discuss. We can do that first.
Okay.
And we'll get this one out of the way because I know Connor doesn't enjoy chatting about espresso macchiato, but it's true.
Ridiculous.
Not a massive shock, I suppose. He has his haters. He must have his lovers.
And he has me.
And he has... I know he doesn't have you.
He has me as like more than a hater. Tommy Cash, tomato. Yes.
Yeah.
I said it, lads. This took a good spot of a good song. This took a spot of a good song in the semi-final. I would have much preferred to see an Azerbaijan qualify over this, a Croatia qualify over this, a Belgium, a Slovenia. Who else didn't qualify? What was the other one?
There's people putting the lyrics "No Stress O'Connor" in the
No Stress out.
chat.
A lover, a hater, a poison, a savior. No Stress O'Connor. Yeah, no, lads. This is not for me. No stress. No need to be depressed. I'm not depressed because I knew it was going to come. I knew it was going to happen. And I could call it, like you said, Lou, like he was a camera
He was the camera darling. They just kept panning back to him.
Loved it. And even Marty Whelan on RT kept singing the song. And it's just, locals will eat this shit up. And they have. And it's qualified. And it's a shame. But yeah, no surprise. I hope it comes dead last in the final.
Netherlands. C'est la vie, Claude. I was so happy for this man. People went in on that rehearsal online.
Fair
and
play
look,
to them.
the vocals were like disappointing in the rehearsal, but that's what a rehearsal is for. He absolutely executed it when it mattered, which was tonight. And now he's through to the final. He can have a great time. He is going to get great jury love. Definitely, I think a top 10 in the jury on Saturday is very, very achievable for the Netherlands at this point. Televote, I've no idea, but he made it through on the televote in the semi, so that is a good sign. Somebody mentioned it somewhere earlier in the chat, and I totally agree. The Netherlands just felt so warm. It just felt like a big hug. I felt really safe with him. He has such, I don't know if this is a weird thing to say, but he has such a gorgeous face. Like, he's just glowing. Like,
don't let Theo hear that.
Emanating. This is more wholesome. Emanating like happiness and joy. And like, I'm on the Eurovision stage singing about my mom and my childhood, and it felt really genuine as well. And Connor and I have always peddled that boat. Like, authenticity is key. Like, if somebody else had written this song and he had sang it, I don't think it would have had the same feeling in it. The fact that this all came from him, and the staging, and the little boy on the kind of like LED mirror thing, brilliant idea, because I did wonder how will they combat that. Obviously, you can't bring a child onto the Eurovision stage, so just really clever little LED video. Happy Days gets a nice heartfelt ending, and he sounded quite emotional, and again, that felt genuine. He was selling it, I was buying it, Europe was buying it too. He's through. Happy Days. The Netherlands carry on as their mini powerhouse story continues in Eurovision. Connor, you weren't so sure in recent times. You've kind of changed your mind after seeing the performance.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, I'm not personally, I'm not a massive fan of this song. It's not for me, but I do think it is very accessible. It's very radio friendly, and I think locals will eat this up. I know my family really, really liked this song. What put me off a bit was the vocal ability of him. We've seen in some of the performances, I think it was Amsterdam in concert, the vocal wasn't there. And even in the rehearsal clip that we saw, vocal was atrocious. So last night in the jury show, or the dress rehearsal, I was really impressed by it. I was like, fair play to him. And I was really intrigued to see it tonight, whether that carried through. And I thought it was actually better than last night too. There was some iffy moments, of course, but I think as someone who appears maybe is vocally vulnerable at moments, it worked tonight. It worked in his favor, and he went through. So, and it was nice to see him get kind of emotional at the end of the song, which was nice touch for it. So, yeah, I'm happy for the Netherlands. Personally, it's not a song that I would be loving, but I think he did deserve to go through tonight. So I am happy for Claude.
Yeah, lots of nice comments in the YouTube chat there. James saying his smile elevated him a few spots for me. ESC 101 saying the mirror with the child reflection was a beautiful moment. Natalia saying Netherlands felt like a typical French performance, but a good one. Paul saying he has a handsome face. That counts for points. I mean, it's fair. It's fair. Tribute of District 13. OMG, guys, you were right. The audience was so quiet in the arena, and I definitely feel like I heard fake crowd noise played. WTF.
Well, if you thought it was bad tonight, last night it was like no one was even in the arena. Tonight I thought it was much better, but yeah, much better than last night anyway. But we'll see what happens for the final now, and particularly on Thursday. We know it's coming up.
To watch them back.
Yeah.
Norway, Lider, Kyle Alessandro.
Solid performance. Nothing amazing. I think vocally, it was good to see Kyle perform well, because we know he's been through the mill recently with having his wisdom tooth out, and of course we got to remember he's only 19 years of age. He's so young, so getting up on that stage is a big deal. So fair play to him. Solid performance. Nothing revolutionary, nothing that we haven't seen at Eurovision before, particularly from the national final performance. Nothing drastically different, a few minor changes, but solid performance from him. And yeah, delighted for him. What about yourself?
Not a huge amount to add. Yeah. Kyle is just so competent. easy to forget how youthful he is. His experience really comes through. He is just so talented, and that really carries on the stage. Norway are excellent with their staging. Like, sorry, he's trying to turn this down on his iPad. Norway are so excellent with their staging, you know, carrying on again, kind of like the Netherlands, a Eurovision powerhouse at this point. B says, Kyle, you're 19.
You're 19, shut your face. That's California for people that don't know. That's like
6 eggs per bloke per day.
That's like 15 years ago, maybe. Even more? God, that's a throwback.
I used to tweet one of them on Twitter back in the day.
Your man works for Domino's now. I saw him like promoting. Your man that said, you're 19, shut your face.
Is he a social media person, is it?
No, I think they did like a promo with him, but like he's past it. But anyway.
Norway is one country we didn't predict for qualification based on the studio track, but it was in our top 10 for the semi. So pretty pleased to see Norway in the final yet again. Interesting.
Ray said, Poland's dancers, men in heels with the heat emoji. But can we just talk about Marty Whelan's commentary towards the end of the show when they were in the green room? Marty just kind of lost control. Put down your leg. He just lost control and just was saying like one word lines or one word and then a line and then would not talk for another 2 minutes. And then your man from Poland puts up his leg. Marty just goes,
put down your leg.
So yeah, it was funny. Not the California references. We're Eurovision lads. We got to bring in those. We'll be quoting.
We're dubs as well.
We'll be quoting Love Hate next week and all. Jack said, when are the qualifiers doing the draw for the final? I believe tonight is the big 5. I think. Or is it every country? I'm not too sure, but I know definitely the big 5 anywhere are doing it tonight, and then the full running order will be revealed on Friday/Saturday morning.
I'd say we'll know by the morning. They could be doing it overnight. It's usually like they usually would have the press conference now, and we'd be finding out like kind of after midnight-ish. But aren't they doing it like
Thursday night, Friday morning?
Yeah, aren't they doing it in a TikTok style for like the the guys pulling their halves tonight?
Yeah, something weird like that. I don't know.
Who knows when that'll be?
We know nothing, lads. This year it's all very hush hush. We'll see what happens. On Thursday.
The last one we didn't properly chat about, but we probably don't need to really get into, is Sweden. I mean, we weren't shocked that they got through, and I think anyone who watched Melody Festivalen or watched back their performance, you know, you won't have been shocked at what they produced tonight.
Oisin says Ukraine are first half, so they might be doing them now. I don't know if we can check that.
That's exciting. We could do like a little live reaction if we pulled it up here.
Yeah, not too sure. I don't have access if you want to check that, Lou. It's not been live streamed though. There's no press conference this year. So hush hush. Sorry, hush hush. I couldn't say that. Probably too soon. Too soon. Is Park an honorary dub now? Kieran asked. We'll see on Thursday whether he gets through or not. We have to see. Jack says you may have already discussed, but did you like the 3 camera shots and announcements of the finalists? Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. We did enjoy it. We thought it was different and brought a bit of spice to the reveal. Oisin said ESD Discord tweeted it. We'll have to see. But yeah, lads, let us know your final thoughts. We're going to wrap it up shortly because we've on nearly an hour and we need to go to bed. Get ready for tomorrow. But any final thoughts of semi-final 1 this evening? What you loved, what you hated, your disappointments, your favorites. And again, thank you so much for all the love and support this week. We have been pumping out the content between Alex on the ground in Basil and myself and Lou here in Dublin. If you would like to support us on Buy Me a Coffee, we would really appreciate it. It lets us do things like this with our studio and improve on this with the mics and everything like that. So you can visit us, buymeacoffee.com/Airvision. And also as well, if you want to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, X, email us, Airvision Podcast. Just look up Airvision and you will find us. And again, big thank you to the man himself, Samuel Deacon, for doing the graphics for this year for us. Things like this and the thumbnails that you're seeing. Very talented individual. So if you're looking for a graphic designer, hit up Sam. But yeah, Lou, what any updates there? What have you been looking at?
No, yeah, Oisin's right. ESC Discord did tweet it. The source is Suspleen Eurovision.
Oh, that's
but there's nothing. Yeah, it's the broadcaster. But there's nothing on like the Eurovision Instagram or anything.
Alex Basmani said, guys, I'm too sad to go to
Euroclub.
Alex, if you have time and want to hop on briefly, you can. But I know you're probably depressed and sad over Cyprus, so don't worry. Dara Mannion, are you scared for Ireland on Thursday?
Not scared, Dara.
No.
Looking forward to it.
No.
Our Emmy's going to perform her heart out.
Optimistic after tonight's result, but we'll see. Everyone is giving Alex some love in the group chat, in the comments.
It basically is a group chat at this point. We know most of these people. They're the hardcore Eurovision gang. Guys, I saw some of you agree to the San Marino pilgrimage earlier. We can make a group chat or something for that.
Alex says jokes. Haha, I'm prinking watching this. Prinks.
Me too.
With the water. We were drinking earlier, lads. We were having a party for Eurovision. Do you all think Ireland will qualify? I hope, asked Darren. I think so. So after tonight. We'll have to wait and see. Everything changes once we see the rehearsals. So hopefully tomorrow night we have a better image and better picture of Eurovision semi-final table. We'll talk to you tomorrow night about that. Tonight's more about semi-final number 1. Eurovision Discord when?
B, I've been wanting one. But how do we get it like moderated? Because the
we ain't got time for that.
We don't have time to like. Do you know if people start fighting and stuff? Like, how do we make that not a thing? Because we want to be chill vibes. Do we have to have admins? How does all of that work? Because we're kind of Discord like casuals. We like go on and off.
We're just not Discord savvy.
No.
If you want to be a moderator, by all means, we trust you. But Jesus,
listen,
no,
B.
I can't be dealing with Discord now. Too much on me plate.
Lou, I'm literally one of Gabe's Discord mods. Let me help you.
And I know
hit
Gabe.
Us up, baby.
I know Gabe is also watching on Instagram. I'm not too sure if he's still here, but Gabe, we might be stealing. Alex said send her a link if you don't mind doing that. That's all right.
I can't.
Oh, can you not?
Logged on.
Logged on. Let me see.
You email it through there.
Yeah, you do. You chat away. I'll do this.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, Ray also gave us a lovely comment there on our YouTube chat, thanking us for the content. And you've just bought us 20 coffees, Ray. Oh my God.
What's that?
What?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's very, very generous. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ray.
All the drama to say you've kept a positive steer and got us back in the hype train. Cheers. Thanks, Ray. I mean, yeah, like last year was a lot and Eurovision always has drama, but at the end of the day, we all love it. We're all here in these spaces, online, in person, on the ground, whatever, because we love it. And at the end of the day, it's a song competition. It's a TV show. We got to enjoy it, especially in these weeks. And I absolutely love doing these streams. It's really nice to chat away interactively with you guys, because we love the interaction on the podcast anyway, but a lot of the times from our question boxes and stuff. So really nice to do this.
Can we shout out Dara Mannion, who said, "Rip, I'm doing my leaving cert and was glued to this." And this is such a throwback to, I think, most of us, because May is, of course, leaving cert time and exam time for so many Irish students. So it is a very much echoing our childhood there. So big shout out to Dara. I hope for reading comprehension in French on the Eurovision in Switzerland, since they speak French. We'll see. Now, lads, please welcome to the stage, before she heads to Euroclub, Miss Alex Basmati.
Cheers, girls.
Alex.
Are you depressed?
I'm so depressed. I'm so sad. But no, I'm very happy for Portugal though. They were so nice when I met them.
I would have had Cyprus in over Portugal now.
I know, so would I now, in terms of the song, but they're a lovely bunch. And actually, I was messaging...
you have a little bond with them now. I forgot about this.
Well, this is exclusive. So when I met them, got on really well with their head of press. She runs their social media. So she's been sending me voice notes, and she's going to get them to send us their first reaction of qualification and maybe do a bit of Irish for us. So
we love Portugal.
I love Portugal. I'm going to Portugal next week. I'll meet them. Meet them.
But actually, one of the band members has gone out with 2 girls from Ireland at different times. I would not
at the same time.
Not at the same time.
I'll have some single friends out in Portugal for him.
Yeah, I think he
Irish
has a
fellas?
type. So he apparently loves Guinness and has been to Ireland loads and loads of times and has a real connection. So
has
he
a
wanted
type.
to speak some Irish for us. So
Love
yeah,
it.
we're actually very delighted, and hopefully we'll get that over the next day or so, and we can include it in the podcast. But to be honest, they were so nice. Like they walked me back to my hotel to make sure I got home safe. So it's one thing when you see them on the screen, but yeah, in person they were so nice. But didn't expect it. Like they were last in the odds.
Yeah.
Last.
Yeah.
Like that's
That would have been a good
this
bet.
is one of the most shocking results, I think. Do you agree?
Yeah, we were talking
Yeah.
about it, just saying that, you can't trust the odds of the bookies at all after tonight.
No.
3 of those bookies' predictions made it through tonight. So, and like you said, Portugal dead last in the bookies. We've talked a lot about the qualifiers so far, but you're on the ground in Basel. You were at tonight's show. What's the reaction like in Basel? How are people feeling?
And I have been, as you know, to Eurovision now the last 3 years. I feel like this is the most shocking and like the most shock you can feel in the arena, particularly number one when Portugal qualified. Like that was just gasps all around. Like when they were on, people were mostly on their phones. People were kind of checked out. People were talking. Who else, guys? Sorry, Killian and Joey are here with me. Who else had a big shock reaction? San Marino. There was a lot of shock for that. Reaction. Yeah, but
Get
they
the
had a
lads
huge
on the
reaction.
stream.
Get
We
them
want to
back.
see
Come
them.
on, lads, in you come.
Lads, come on.
Honorary Eurovision members at this point.
You have to behave this time.
Guys,
Okay.
chat. Welcome Killian and Joey,
Killian
please.
and Joey, who you don't know, these
I'm
are
very
2 Irish
sorry for last
fans,
night.
great friends of ours. They're
I'm a good
iconic.
boy now.
Go follow them. And be
So,
good.
guys, who do you
Buongiorno.
think? Who had the biggest shock? I thought definitely San Marino. Estonia, it felt like we knew that was coming, right? But they kept teasing us with that, didn't they?
Yeah, but it was more like kind of Cyprus not qualifying, where like sure as day Cyprus was definitely qualifying.
Well, mate, I think that was just us 3 though.
The Theo Evan fan club has 4.
We are big Cyprus fans in this house.
No, Cyprus isn't just we're in our kind of section. So Cyprus was like we had a big kind of
Cyprus contingent.
Yeah, in our kind of it was Cyprus kind of OG. We're in our kind of area, so they were like there was a big despair when they didn't qualify. Like
there was a lot of shock there. Sorry, Iceland as well, big shock. But like people were screaming. I actually have that on video, so hopefully I'll be able to share that.
Belgium as well, not qualifying.
Yes, can we talk about that? Because we were all hyping it up after seeing the rehearsal, and wow, not true.
It was great in the arena anyway, but.
Yeah, because the voice notes that I sent you guys will be on the podcast tomorrow. But every single person I spoke to I think 4 or 5 people, they all mentioned Belgium as their number one shock.
Wow. And we said it last night, Alex, the 3 of us. We were all like, Belgium was great. Top 3, like, boo-boo the fools.
Secured, like, what? Insane.
And I did think for a split second that Ukraine weren't going to qualify. I thought for a split second, this is the record gone, surely. Because like Belgium, I think Belgium are going to because everyone's talking about Belgium or maybe kind of possible jury winner vote. They're going to easy qualify. So it's like, Belgium is kind of locking.
Yeah.
So maybe Ukraine is going to flop for once, but obviously not.
They didn't deserve to qualify, but that's another day.
And who got the best reaction in the arena tonight overall?
San Marino.
San Marino.
Yeah.
Qualifying or the song, the performance?
Oh, during the performance, we're saying.
Performance,
qualification-wise, I feel like vibe. It was like an unleash of joy when they qualified. Like people were so happy when they.
Okay.
And Poland got
a massive.
Jesus.
Everyone was delighted.
So which performance got
that
the
was
most?
the biggest kind of, maybe it was us, but it's a big reaction around us from like.
And I'm sure you've already talked about it, but just from our reactions as well. I thought the change in how they announced it was really good. Like I think for us, we're really it made it so, particularly when you got 3 countries at the same time that you didn't expect.
Yes,
it was like Slovenia, Portugal, Azerbaijan, or something, wasn't it?
Yeah,
three from as the odds all together. That was like, oh my god, like what, like who, like
who's it gonna be?
And they did it twice. They did it twice where like 3 kind of like non-qualifiers were put together, and that was like kind of a heart popped in because you're like, who?
Yeah, who's it going to be?
Mm-hmm. I love that. Bring it back, like.
Yeah, definitely. And
but Tommy Cash then being there 4 times, like we kind of knew then he's going to quit. True.
Yeah.
And quickly, can we talk about? Did you guys see the interviews that they did with the performers? I thought that was very quirky. Some of it.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Very quirky is the word, yeah.
It was it was funny though. I thought the presenters were much better tonight watching them versus the last kind of rehearsals we've been seeing.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
So as well as the qualifier reactions, which like performances really had the crowd going?
Apart from Poland, but then like definitely all the gays are loving Poland.
As they should.
Yeah.
Mother Gaia was like
Mother Gaia.
Albania actually got a good reception too.
Yeah, they got a great reception. Sorry, can I talk about as well? I think my prediction for last place will probably be Azerbaijan. Those vocals, shocking.
But even Portugal, we were chit chatting, like we were like, oh, they're not qualifying. We're like, everyone's just so bored by Portugal during the show. It was the most dead I've ever seen. Around me, and it was just dead reaction from Portugal.
You know what? It shows like the difference between like the people who actually vote and the people who are in like the community, like the bubble that we're in, because we're obviously missing a trick there. And you know what? There's nothing like this that was in the semi-final, and in the final, like this could do quite well because you have juries now, and the juries are going to probably award it.
Oh, they'll love it. Yeah,
they'll love it. So yeah,
we were dead. It was dead. Like we were like we were like gossiping. We were like just chit chat. We
were kikiing in the audience.
That was the biggest shock for me, Portugal.
You mentioned it there, Alex, about Azerbaijan potentially coming last, and I think you guys will like this. Marty Whelan actually said on commentary that he felt that the singers were on helium, that the vocal was so bad. So it was so bad.
Alicia Michelle wants to join.
I want to join. Alicia, you're more than welcome. Let us know.
Oh my God.
Ping her a link there.
Ping her a link.
We're big fans here. We're big fans.
I got a new video.
I got
a new video. Alicia Michelle.
Please mention Iceland.
I'm ready to go.
Iceland.
Eurovision fans.
Are you ready for the show? Oh lads. Any other thoughts about tonight's show then from Basil? How's the city overall actually?
It's really good.
It's really good. I think one of the nicest.
Yeah.
People are so nice.
It's very like Trin vibes, but like people actually
people
actually wanted to host here. Like, they're very friendly. Like, they actually know what's happening.
Yeah.
Whereas Trin is like Trino didn't realize Eurovision's happening.
Yeah, they're very accommodating. Like even one of the days I couldn't figure out which tram to get, and I stopped 2 different groups, and like they didn't just say, "Oh, I don't know." They actually like were walking me across the street and like getting people involved, and like they're so nice. And actually, guys, we did the karaoke tram today.
So
and
that was gas.
It was so good. And by the way, that was for free, put on by Basil. So we paid nothing. And that was like a full hour that we got where you got on the tram. They had like sweets. They had a live DJ on the tram. And then they would call you up to do karaoke. And they had lists of like basically songs from every single Eurovision country. And they'd give you like 4 or 5 options per country. So I did Bambi Thug.
I did Name Muller. I wrote a song. Well, tried to.
Classic.
And I did Like a Party brilliantly.
Yeah, very good.
Did you do the dance, Joey?
Was it like
Of course
Whelan?
I did, of course. And I got everyone to do it with me as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think one of the nicest things about it as well was like seeing people's reactions on the street, because like, it felt like people it just put a smile on their face, because this is just their average Tuesday. Like they're probably coming home from work and they're seeing this karaoke tram. So it really does feel like Basil has like fully embraced it, and they are loving it. And
it's a proper it's like Trina vibes with the weather.
Yeah.
But people actually embracing the contest. Like they really embraced it. Even we got taxi home there, and his latest song he played was Tutta Italia. And he told us beforehand, I don't watch any Eurovision songs, I don't know any. His last played song was Tutta Italia. He didn't realise that was a Eurovision song.
Yeah, because people had been getting in his taxi, obviously, and requesting Eurovision songs. So,
the really annoying thing is prices. Like, in the Irish bar last night, I just got a glass of wine thinking, oh great, I'll have one before the embassy event. €17 for it.
God.
Oof.
17.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
So you have to be really careful. Like there's ways around it. Like I think the cheapest drink we can get is €7 wine.
Pinot Grigio.
Pinot Grigio, which This is why we're actually pranking in our apartment because we're trying to avoid the prices. Yeah. But yeah, you have to be really intentional, and with food as well. Like you're talking €15 at least for a meal. So we haven't really been doing restaurants. We're just doing like street food basically the whole time.
Sausage rolls.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. But look, we're going to come home from Basil very skinny, so
the malnutrition.
And that's why I'm going.
That 24-hour diet.
See you on Friday.
So on the whole, prices aside, it's a good house city.
Say that again.
Sorry, on the whole, like prices aside, it's a good house city so far.
It is amazing.
Yeah. They're really impressive.
Yeah.
Good. Someone's asking in the chat, is that a tip accent they detect?
Yes, it is. On tip. You up to 2 Johnnies.
The 2 Johnnies.
Tip your Bryden.
Oh, no.
It only took 5 minutes.
It's a tip saying, okay?
Okay, we can't discriminate against the tip people, I suppose.
And actually,
text me.
When you joined earlier, someone on, I think it was Declan on the Instagram chat, was like, Cavan noises.
Oh. That Tyrone man, I can't swear.
He's a Tyrone man, I know.
The bad man from Tyrone.
And lads, who's on in Euroclub tonight? What's the plan in Euroclub?
Oh, Gustav is on. We're probably missing him.
And Sebelter as well.
We fly over.
And
we get a helicopter.
We'll go now.
Sebelter from Switzerland.
Sylvester last night.
Who?
Sebelter.
Who's Sebelter?
2014 Switzerland.
Okay.
Want me to go?
We
Want
can
me
make
to go? Because
Want me to go?
because you think I'm lying.
Okay.
No.
What time is it now in Basil?
Midnight, baby.
Midnight, baby.
But we're an hour ahead.
It's 1 o'clock now.
Okay.
It's 1 o'clock for you.
I'd say Gustav's probably on in half an hour. That's the last, so we might head soon.
Yeah.
But I have to say now, the Euroclub DJs haven't been great.
No.
The last 2 or 3 nights, they have been playing like a lot of old stuff, and then they'll sprinkle in the new stuff. But
very little pop girlies. Like literally, I haven't heard mine of one, not once. Like it's all very,
which is a tragedy.
Weird. There's no like El Diablo or there's no pop icon songs. It's all very
recent sort of.
It's
very it's like they're playing like Denmark 2010 NQs.
A lot of random songs.
And like even like last night I was asking around being like, do you guys know the song? And everyone's saying no. So it's not like it's ones that I just don't know. It's like deep cuts that no one knows.
But they had which one Antebella, Time Bell. They had Swiss Girl on yesterday for 45 minutes.
While we have this conversation, we're going to add a very special guest. Please welcome Alicia Michelle to the live stream.
Woo! We're fangirling over here.
Our new honorary Irish citizen.
Look, I am prepared to serve my votes on Thursday evening, okay?
Rest of the world on lock.
Oh my God.
How are you doing, Alicia?
Oh, I'm good. How are y'all? I streamed the show. I'm like, watch the show with me. My mom was with me. So my mom was giving some of her thoughts. She had to check out at some point in the show because, retired life is so busy. You know what I mean? You have no job. You're just collecting a check, but it's so busy. So she had to check out at some point in the show. And so then I was doing a stream and I was like, I need to talk to some Europeans. So I'm searching. I'm like, who's live right now? And my Eurovision, Ireland friends are live. I'm like, okay, we got to talk. I want to know how y'all feel.
I think we're reeling from it, really, to be honest. It was kind of a shock of a result,
Well, delighted Iceland got through in a way.
Iceland.
Yeah, they really deserve to get through.
Our island brothers.
I think the general shock amongst us is Belgium.
Did you see that coming?
Iceland making it through?
Yeah.
No. I come on. But I didn't see it going through because I am picky about my hip hop. I've been very consistent about this. If I was all of a sudden going to be like going die hard for Iceland this year, it would be inconsistent with like who I am and my brand as a sole individual and person who like is from the birthplace of hip hop. Because I'm like, I can't. And like, I'm just like, what is this vocal tone? What is this flow? Okay, it's just not for me. But I think I was also holding the fact that I was like, I do think that they opened the show well. Here's my thing. I went into this semifinal like, y'all can get the rest. There's 3 songs that I need. Poland, Albania, and the Netherlands. If I get those, I'm good. Honorable mention, I said San Marino because I was like, well, I just wanted to either open or close the show because it's just one of those songs that feels like not filler. It feels like we're opening, we're closing. And so I just selfishly was like, I'd like to see San Marino advance, but I was like, y'all can have it. Portugal is one of my favorite songs this year. I put Portugal, Ukraine, Switzerland, and I'm missing one. Portugal, Lithuania in the same category where I'm like, this is not the stuff that Eurovision fans tend to like, but I like in life. So I was already acquiescing to losing Portugal. So for me, I got the 3 that I needed. I got my honorable mention, and then I got a bonus. So there was 5 whole slots ready for the rest of y'all to get in. So I'm like, I don't care. Like, anybody can get in. Have fun with it. Because I'm telling you, there's only like 3 songs, 4 songs out of this semifinal that I was listening to consistently. So I was going into this feeling like, I think I'm going to get everything I need. I think I might get something that I want. And the rest can have fun. Thursday night's going to be a different vibe, though, right? Like, Thursday night's going to feel way more competitive because I'm going to be real. But y'all should be feeling good, Ireland. If Iceland can make it, y'all are in there, right?
Yeah,
like, it's happening.
Tonight. Yeah, 100%.
Alicia, you always talk about the mood of Europe. I always think of you when we have that discussion. And if Europe are on this vibe of putting through Iceland and San Marino and just the fun Don't Be Worrying songs, hopefully that's a good omen for us and for Emmy.
Agreed.
Well, I think I've been consistent saying that I think Ireland has one of the stronger songs. And I think sometimes we get, in the fandom, we're susceptible to the vibe of the performer, the vibe of the social media, the vibe that it makes us feel at pre-parties and like in the lead up of stuff. And we forget like what that instant feel is going to be. Here's the thing that I will say. I think Ireland's national selection already had songs that gave qualifier. Other than Samantha Mumba. Sorry, girl. We love you. I can't even remember the track now. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
someone's getting a bag of aubergines tomorrow.
I mean, like, it's good. And if anything, we needed Samantha Mumba to come in and go, we don't need the panel at the Late Late Show, so maybe next year we won't have it. Because we don't need it. It's kind of unnecessary. So if we had to experience that so that next year at the Late Late Show, we don't have to deal with that, I'm cool with it. So I think... But I would say song-wise, this year, not even looking at the semis, I've always said that Like a Party, I think, stood out. So to me, I think, and I was leaving space a little bit for songs that maybe didn't grab me in the studio cut to get me in the live performance. So I think for the people who might be feeling a little bit like passé about Like a Party, have to remember that I do think studio cut-wise, when you're listening to the whole of the songs this year, it is one of the better songs that we have. Vibe making it makes me feel more comfortable for Iceland. But we do have a glut of female performers in semifinal 2. So this semi, we saw a guy, I think the only like lighter candle that we could light for this semi is Belgium, where it's kind of like you did everything that you could do and you didn't make it. It wasn't a fault of the staging. It wasn't a fault of the vocal. We didn't get bum notes. But we do maybe have to live in a world where it was like, okay, maybe it was the fault of the actual studio cut song. Because although this is a genre that I really like, there was something that was like a detractor for me. when I was just like, but I'm not, like, this should be Looktel, 2025. But it wasn't. I was like, it was something when I was listening to it that I was like, oh, like, this should be that. Like, because Looktel, everyone knows, one of my favorite songs last year. So I was like, why am I not gravitating towards it as much? And then honestly, studio cut wise, I skipped it. But there was so much good about it. I knew the live show was going to be good. I knew the vocal was going to be good. The live show was good. The vocal was good. But it didn't make it. So the only thing that I think people could go, oh, what if, is what if it had Cyprus's running order? Would that have worked out better? But then we're also living in a world where, Cyprus, you didn't even make it either. So, you're not at the big show either. So, like, what are we really going to do? But it does make me nervous. I will say, this does tell me Europe is into fun. So, Australia, you're in. I mean, because Milkshake Man, I think, is actually one of the stronger studio cuts that we have this year. So I think the Milkshake Man is starting off and winning. I'm thinking Ireland, you're in, because it's youthful, it's fun. But I think today's results made me nervous for maybe Czechia a little bit. But Norway made it tonight. So, like, okay, maybe I don't have to be that nervous. But it made me nervous, I would say, for Luxembourg. Because Luxembourg isn't necessarily fun or funny. I do know there's a Eurovision audience for it, but it's not fun or funny. We got all of the fun in semifinal 1. Like a Party is going to be some of the fun. Malta, Australia, Ireland are some of the fun that we have in semifinal 2. So maybe we get those.
Alicia, what do you think about Greece and their chances?
Oh, I think Greece is making it. But I've been living in a world where I've been thinking even if Greece was going to tank the staging, it was going to make it. And the pictures I've seen, the rehearsal clip that I saw, I was like, oh, it looks good. So I'm still living in a world where Greece makes it ultimately. But I'll tell you what, Serbia was qualifying in the odds, and I don't think Serbia is making it. Like, the results today make me go like, oh, Serbia's out. But I don't say that with glee. I say that with the asterisks of, like, what if we have like a a grand final where we lost Slovenia and Croatia. We're probably going to lose Montenegro, even though I don't think we should be losing Montenegro. I'll be real about that. I don't think we should be losing Montenegro. But now I'm kind of like, are we going to get Serbia? Today's results don't make me think we're getting Serbia. And what does that mean for the health and safety of the Eurovision Song Contest if we don't have any of the ex-Yugos, like, with us? I feel like I just, like, brought down the party, and I'm not trying to be, like, dark.
No. This is what we love. We gotta ask this question because Dara is young and he's in school still and he's doing his leaving cert. So we asked one question before he goes to bed: will Denmark qualify? Based on tonight's results, how are we feeling with Denmark?
We don't think so.
No.
In this head, we would love it to, but I think the staging is just not up to par. I think there was a world where that could have happened, but based on the choices that their delegation have made, I don't think so.
I think Ireland's a better chance in Denmark.
It might come 11th.
That's our take.
Yeah.
Okay.
And sorry, with that, guys, we have to hop off. Because
They're
guys,
off to Euroclub.
We have to go to Euroclub. Thank you for having our pre-drinks with us, because as you know, it's so expensive in Switzerland that we couldn't be going straight to Euroclub. We have to have our drink here.
Sláinte.
These are my €5 Aldi glasses that made it all the way to Switzerland. So we feel very demure and very fancy having our Eurovision.
Cheers, Alicia.
Cheers, Alicia. And Eurovision.
Love you guys. Enjoy your night.
Enjoy the night, guys. See you later.
Bye.
See you later.
And it's all because of you. Wop, wop, wop. Firm favorite here, that song.
Oh my god. What a night.
Can I say, I could have defended Denmark this year. I could have been fighting in the trenches. I'm going to tell you my departure from fighting in the trenches. Y'all are going to love this. It's going to harken back to Turin. Can we just, lighters, Turin. No Euroclub in sight. Just a bar, some people, Mihal's phone, and a playlist. And we came together and we made it work. Okay.
We were directing people to move furniture for us. We were like, "Excuse me, kind sir, can you move that table over there for our dance floor?"
It was like, you're going to be just fine.
And you were buying everyone shots, Alicia, if I recall correctly.
Alicia gave me my first shot when I arrived to Turin, and I will never forget it.
I'm all about the shots, but I will sometimes, for people who are like, I don't really do shots, I'm like, we can make a shooter. We can make a shooter. It doesn't have to be a shot, but it need be in a small glass with a high alcohol content and just goes down smooth. I'm a big proponent of that. If you don't drink, shout out to you. Come on, seltzers and San Pellegrino. We'll do it. I'll tell you my departure from Denmark. The satin fabric. Because y'all know on my channel, we talk about the styling. And a lot of people don't talk about the styling because, you know, they don't have the credentials. They don't have the Instagram page. You know, they don't have the background. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. Me, I'm going to talk about the styling and I'm going to talk about the fabric. The fact that we chose a satin for that bodysuit and then satin boots, I'm happy we got the fabric because I was like, I really want something with movement for her. I think the vocal's going to be flawless, but when I looked at the clip that they selected, I was like, who is taking this away? Like, this could be insert Charlotte Pirelli in the same outfit 15 years ago. And I'm like, Denmark, I want to see y'all do well. I had a great time in Copenhagen last year. I want y'all to do well. And this is not giving me any confidence. I didn't feel the confidence. And it was the satin. I'll just tell you, that was my departure. I was like, once I saw I didn't even need to see the clip. I saw the outfit and I was like, we can do leather. Leather would have been nice. I like the color. I think the royal, it's one of my favorite colors, but so I'm partial. But once I saw the satin, it just was giving, we're doing staging for like kind of an aging diva. And it's like, she's not even close to 40. I'm closer to 40 than Sissel is. And I'm like, why are we in like satin with sleeves and satin boots?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the boot, the over the knee boots, that kind of look personally.
I just keep getting comparisons to Brooke from Ireland 2022. The same kind of journey of the song itself isn't very special. I think it's more Sizzle is making it special, and the fan community is loving her and kind of backing the song to get through. But ultimately, it's just not going to cut it and fail to qualify on Thursday night as much as the fans would love to see it. But stacked in a very heavy semi-final of great songs, is the public going to gravitate towards it?
Yeah, it's a really tough semi, and I would even argue that I think Brooke had more access and potential than Sissel did coming into it. I think Sissel got the momentum a little bit after the fact. Today's results make me feel comfortable for Australia, where I was living in a, it might not happen space. So I was feeling comfortable for Australia. I was feeling, I'll be fair. I've been living the season kind of comfortable for Ireland because I do think the playing field has always been competitive for Ireland. I just, even with it not maybe being the best, hold on. Maybe this is a challenging question to ask y'all. But previewing Thursday, given the results that we have now, do you think you would feel more comfortable going into Thursday now because of the results? Like I'm saying, because of the results of tonight, do you think there are entries that you would feel more comfortable about representing Ireland? Because again, I think I've been consistent that I was like, I don't think that for the most part in Ireland's national selection, there were like clear non-qualifiers. People, I think, amp up things because they have like their favorites and stuff like that. But sonically, and even given where we were in the fandom at the time, I, for the most part, felt like, no, all of these could kind of make it, given the trend of where the selection is going, or, or the overall playing field for Eurovision is going. But now seeing the results today, do you feel like you all would have been maybe equipped more strongly, more comfortably with some of the other options you had at the semi? And that's not a negative to Emmy, because, again, I'm saying, like, the results today actually made me feel more comfortable for Ireland than I did, but I was already living in a world where I kind of was thinking, like, oh, I think Ireland gets it done.
It's a hard one because personally going into it, I think Niall was my favorite from Eurosong. I think vocally he was just amazing, and it was the first time in that studio that I've ever got goosebumps from a performance. And I think aesthetically we could have changed things, and the overall staging was needed to go. I don't think it was working, but does it kind of remind me a bit of Red Sebastian tonight? Then vocally, was it just too much that people might have gravitated against it? So maybe Emmy is the best choice. It maybe, I don't know, Bobby Arlo potentially could have been like a Norway-esque of semi-final 1 and semi-final 2. It's hard to know, but people seem, like we were talking about earlier, that Europe wants to have a party. The world wants to have a party. The news is very bleak and everyone wants just to have fun and let loose. So maybe like a party is the best option, ultimately. But I guess we'll find out on Thursday, if she qualifies or not. But like we were saying, much more positive. What about you, Lou? Are you...
Yeah, I think I agree. I think Niall in the national final would have brought a really lovely vocal moment to the semi-final. Maybe not as outwardly televote friendly a song. So I think in a funny way it might have done better in the final with a jury there. But I think overall Emmy with the better package and an elevated package. I can't wait to see the full 3 minutes tomorrow in the rehearsal. Alicia, we are going to wrap things up on here because it's after midnight and we're about working tomorrow.
We got those jobs to go to.
But we'll hopefully kiki with you later in the week. I'll see you on Ladies' Choice on Friday.
Woohoo! Yeah, we're doing a whole State of Play Ladies' Choice live stream takeover. So come and check out Louise on that. I think it's going to be fun because we will have seen all of this stuff. And I don't know, maybe we're going to get a lot of surprises on Thursday, maybe.
Oh, amazing. Guys, 5 p.m. Irish time, 6 p.m. Central European time, I believe. Head over to Alicia's channel and check it out on Friday and check out all of her other content, of course, this week. The Queen, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Alicia.
Love you lots. All right, so we're going to wrap up the stream. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. It's been a marathon.
It's been a bit of an extended edition.
We need to do our intro and outro. We got to go to bed.
It's 20 past midnight. We both have to be up early in the morning. Oh, my God. But the viewership is just growing and growing and growing throughout the night. So thank you so much. We're leaving on a peak, which is great to see. But we got those jobs to go to. We need to get those
a couple
sleeps.
of buy me a coffees during the stream. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you guys so
really
much.
Appreciate it. I saw Eva came through with one there earlier as well. So thank you so much. And Ray as well. And just everybody for supporting us in the chat, giving us your thoughts. So much fun to hear what we're all thinking. I especially love the idea of if people haven't found their Eurovision friends yet or are watching it themselves, that we all have a place to chat and hang out after the semi-finals. Tomorrow we'll be back a bit earlier.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Can we finish early tomorrow night? Because I think I need a longer sleep.
Let's set a cut-off time for tomorrow.
An hour and that's it. That's all you're getting.
9:35-ish Irish time after the rehearsal has concluded the performances for semi 2. Mm-hmm. We'll let you know all our thoughts then. And same again for semi-final 2 reaction on Thursday.
Yeah. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to us here on YouTube so you don't miss any of our future live streams. Please make sure you're following us on Instagram, TikTok, X as well, Eurovision Podcast on Instagram and TikTok, and Eurovision Pod on X. Alex is going to be live tweeting from the rehearsals tomorrow afternoon, and myself and Leo, as we said, will be live tomorrow night around 9:35 p.m. Irish time. So make sure you tune in for that. buymecoffee.com/Eurovision if you would like to support us more. Email us, eurovisionpodcast@gmail.com. And again, thank you so much for joining us. Sleep tight. We will see you tomorrow for more Eurovision action. And thank you for tuning in. All we got to say is
Slán go fóill. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.